Hey, everybody. Is this thing working? Here we are Friday. How you doing, Denise?
I'm doing great. Great today on Friday. After last night, it was crazy last night.
Yeah, we had some pretty bad weather here, but not as bad as they had 100 miles south of us, man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's pretty bad. We're going to get into that today, too. We got a big show for you today, folks. Your House of Representatives went off the rails, and then Texas has had some big wins.
Yep, sure
But
did.
first,
Today, our sponsor is Brickhouse Nutrition. Brickhouse Nutrition, fueling your journey to peak performance. Our premium supplements are designed to power your workouts, enhance recovery, and optimize your health. With scientifically backed ingredients and a commitment to quality, Brickhouse Nutrition is your partner in reaching your fitness goals. One of the quality products that they have is Field of Greens. Field of Greens gives you your daily dose of vibrant nutrition. Packed with organic greens, fruits, and vegetables, each scoop delivers essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Simply mix with water or add to your favorite smoothie for a refreshing boost of vitality. Fuel your body with the goodness it craves. Experience the power of Field of Greens and thrive. Elevate your performance. Choose Brickhouse Nutrition today. You can find them at www.brickhousenutrition.com.
and you can click on the link below. But before we start the show, also, we want to state, these are our opinions, our assertions. If you agree with us, tell your friends. And if you don't agree with us, tell your friends and share the show with them. All of that. We love every bit of it. And if we see your comment, we will actually talk about it on the show because we like to do that. We like to include everybody into our show because this is about you. We are here to get you informed, help you become engaged. Make sure you stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is this thing working? Thank you so much for helping us grow every single day.
And make sure you download the Rumble app. We live stream on Rumble every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So download the Rumble app. You can follow us on there. You can receive instant notifications also when we go live. And remember, all of our podcasts are available for download on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, and the rest. So let's get moving. Big story of the night for us here last night, especially with the rains that we had. We sat here last night and watched Channel 13 News out of Houston and watched the storm as it was happening live. It was crazy. Man, it was like, I think 6:25, and they were showing pictures of downtown Houston, and it was dark.
Yes.
It was dark as night at 6:30.
Yeah, and you know what struck me as I was videoing a portion that the cameras on the station was showing, their cameras that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
And during that actual showing, the wind knocked the camera off. I mean, it was just immediately out.
Yeah, and they had winds last night blowing in there reported at 80, 85, 100, some of them as high as 130 miles an hour. Said they didn't have any tornadoes, but man, the wind with the way that it was blowing, roaring through the streets, it caused a lot of damage in Houston yesterday.
You know what's so sad is they leave at least 4 people are dead. That's just how bad it was. We've seen all the pictures this morning.
Yeah, it was rough. And we got a report out from KHOU Channel 11 out of Houston. And it said that the storms pushed through Houston with hurricane-force wind in spots, according to Chief Meteorologist David Paul. And also, Houston Mayor John Whitmire said that at least 4 people were killed Thursday as severe weather slammed southeast Texas. During a news conference just before 10 p.m. Thursday, Whitmire said 2 people were killed by downed trees and a third was killed when a crane toppled over. It's unclear how the 4th person had died. Power lines and trees were knocked down across the city, causing major traffic issues and dangerous conditions in many neighborhoods. The mayor also encouraged residents to stay home and to stay off the road due to the conditions. Traffic lights were out across the city and downed trees blocked roads. The traffic signals were expected to be out for hours. And I know even this morning they were reporting that even this morning there is still 724,000 customers without power in Houston. Man, there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, man. And it says if you live through the core of these winds, you went through the equivalent of a Cat 1, if not a Cat 2 hurricane. This is so crazy, folks, because we watched this weather come from the northwest.
Yeah, it was fast. It was
fast. And you could see, I mean, even the picture we're looking at right here, you can see the amount of wind that's, I mean, for a podcast audience, man, I'm sorry, but It is absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like it, ever.
Not from a landlocked storm like that blew across from that direction. Normally, when a storm blows in like this, it's coming out of the Gulf, and you know it's hurricane or tropical storm. And this one came from the opposite direction. Well, they even had said originally that it was going to hit Lufkin. You know, and that was even the talk even early yesterday morning.
Yeah, we were kind of really worried about it right here where we're at.
Yeah.
So we hate that it happened to Houston. I mean, imagine
but
people were saying they were out on driving when this was going on, because that's in the major traffic then.
It was, and it was right at rush hour between 4:30, 6:30, right in that time, man. It was blasting through there.
It was. So we want to shout out a prayer to everybody that's going through this right now.
Yep.
It's amazing.
And the first responders and emergency workers that are working today to help people down there, man. Just everybody keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And like we always say, hey, if you're nearby and you've got the means, I hope you find it in your heart to go help people.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to do, is help take care of each other.
That's exactly right. But here we go. Trump Watch. What we do every day. Today is Barron Trump's graduation.
No court today.
So no court for President Trump today. So, but here's what happened in court yesterday. Cohen is torn to shreds by Trump's attorney in blistering cross-examination over Stormy Daniels' hush money payments. This is from the Daily Mail.
Yeah, it says Donald Trump's defense lawyer, Todd Blanche, he accused star witness Michael Cohen of lying about a crucial phone call that tied the former president to a cover-up around the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels in a dramatic exchange on Thursday. It said that Blanche delivered his blow just before the lunch break, offering evidence that the key conversation was actually about a prank caller and not, as Cohen had claimed 3 days earlier, about the payment. It created an aha moment just as the case barrels toward its conclusion, the sort of a pin drop shock common to the courtroom TV dramas, but rare in real life. And it is kind of crazy, because what they done was they took the time references of a text that they had just had talking about the 14-year-old person involved in the prank call, and then it said, call me. And the call is right after that, and it's only 96 seconds. There you go. More lies.
More lies.
The more that Cohen this is amazing to me that he just continues.
And he does it with a straight face, and it's like, believe me. But it was nice to see members of the House Freedom Caucus there yesterday. Yeah. Having President Trump's back. Every one of them came out at lunch recess and spoke for him, since he's gagged by this biased Judge Merchan.
Right.
He can't say anything.
Right.
So they all came out and spoke for him. I thought that was cool. And we have a video that we want to play you of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has his back as well. Listen to this.
The actual behavior that happens across the aisle in this committee of constant attacks on President Trump are unbelievable. And attacks on President Trump, the weaponized government against President Trump. I want you to know something. He may be sitting in a New York courtroom with a sham trial with a political judge whose daughter works for Democrats. But I'll tell you right now, President Trump is up 10 points in Georgia, because the American people see this for exactly what it is. They know what it is. And it's completely wrong.
Just like he come out yesterday morning and he talked about the fact that Biden was the one running this trial. He talked about how much of a sham that it is, but he brought out the fact that Biden's doing that. He brought out the weaponization. He highlighted it, and good for her. She turned right around and she highlighted it too.
That's right. That's what we're all here doing, highlighting the fact that
and everybody sees it.
That all of this is totally
bullshit.
Biden.
It's all bullshit.
It's all BS. President Trump came out with a statement yesterday evening regarding this. He said, people are thinking that Soros-backed DA, Alvin Bragg, who never wanted to bring the witch hunt against me in the first place, is going to drop this ridiculous and very unpatriotic case in order to save lots of money and also the self-respect of his once revered office. He would then be able to focus on violent crime, which is running rampant and totally out of control in New York. The dilemma is, and always has been, the Trump-hating, in quotes, appointed in 2009 and still acting Judge Juan Merchan, who would be confronted with the problem of how he would explain the Trump loss to the radical left Democrats to whom he owes so much. Bring back justice in America. Election interference. You know, he's right. You know, he's just an appointed judge. He's not elected.
Right.
You know, so why is he still acting as a judge?
He's not acting as a judge. I hadn't seen him act as a judge.
Anyway, I do want to point out that I think that President Trump might have broke his gag order by doing this.
Yeah.
So
do you
it's
think
going to be fun next week.
Right? Do you think he cares, though?
No, he doesn't care because everyone knows what this is. And he's right. It is a witch hunt. And it's been a witch hunt from the beginning. And once they lose this case, which they have lost it.
Hopefully.
And if by any chance those juries voted all to convict him, then there will be an uproar.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone knows this is false, that Cohen lied, Stormy Daniels lied, everyone lied.
Right.
And it's been pointed out.
And there is no crime.
There is no crime.
Exactly.
Like President Trump said, election interference.
You know, the bad thing is you could have 11 say he's acquitted and one hang the whole jury, man.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they're counting on, I think there's 2 lawyers that are actually on the jury.
Yeah.
They keep counting on those. But, you know, right now, lawyers are...
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
They're...
Like I say, he's got a 50-50 shot either way.
Yeah, I agree.
From this point, it's hard to predict anything anymore.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, yesterday it got crazy.
Who could have predicted that?
Who could have predicted that? That's for sure. Well, we should know when you get AOC and MTG in the same room in front of cameras, then it's going to get a little crazy like it did on the House floor yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it did.
There was storms in Houston and storms in D.C. But here's just something you can laugh about today.
For 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging personalities, correct?
A what now?
He said a what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a
Hold on.
part
I'm
of the...
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike
I
those
had no idea what
words.
you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You just voted to do
Y'all
it.
did it first, so you don't
just voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm down.
No, because this
I
is
will
what
let
y'all
you get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to
Hey,
get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games,
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
and
yelling.
You don't want
Calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
Chair,
I don't know why
okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
I'm sorry.
Hey, we went to a girl fight and a oversight committee meeting broke out, man.
Oh my gosh. You know, I was thinking about this, listen to this, you know, when you first hear the video come on, you hear Representative Comer say, MTG, here's your 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Exactly.
And immediately Crockett comes on to interrupt. Immediately. All this is, folks, is them using their big mouths to stop someone from talking.
Yeah. Well, and
What the Democrats always do.
yeah, and she already had a bug in her butt already over it because MTG had already insulted her anyway.
About her eyelashes?
Yeah, about her
Yes,
fake eyelashes.
about her fake
So
eyelashes.
yeah, she had to respond, but it just got crazy.
It did get crazy. But that's what they do.
And that was just a small clip of it. It went on for a little while.
Yeah, we didn't want to bore you to tears, but I mean, they were funny yesterday and it was all over. And that's all you heard was that. And they want you to hear just that. And they're already coming out with, we got to get rid of MTG and all that just because they didn't like what she said.
All that was kind of to distract you from the real issue.
Yep.
The real issue is that they did vote last night to bring the contempt of Congress charges against Merrick Garland. That's the big news of it.
Yeah, for the release of the audio tapes of
Yep.
Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Joe Biden. That's what they've been trying to get.
Yep.
And so they actually finally got down to business, and they were there to do some serious business, and they held him in contempt. We want you to listen to AG Garland's statement that was earlier in the day, because they knew they were that the House Oversight Committee was actually going to go in and do some serious business and do their job. But here he is.
People depend on us to ensure that our investigations and our prosecutions are conducted according to the facts and the law and without political influence. We have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that the committees get responses to their legitimate requests. But this is not one. To the contrary, this is one that would harm our ability in the future to successfully pursue sensitive investigations. Now, there have been a series of unprecedented and frankly unfounded attacks on the Justice Department. This request, this effort to use contempt as a method of obtaining our sensitive law enforcement files is just the most recent. The effort to threaten to defund our investigations and the way in which there are contributions to an atmosphere that puts our agents and our prosecutors at risk, these are wrong. Look, the only thing I can do is continue to do the right thing. I will protect this building and its people.
Gentlemen, why don't we respond?
Go ahead. You kind of answered this just now, but I was wondering, what this combined with the efforts to defund Jack Smith and the other attacks on Biden administration officials say about, the broader effort to discredit you and to discredit the Justice Department, and also how do you manage that? How are you resisting that? And what can you do about that as Attorney General?
Look, we have to go about our work following the federal principles of prosecution. As I said, we follow the facts and the law. We screen out outside inappropriate influences. That's what we're doing here. We're protecting our ability to continue to do high-profile and sensitive investigations, and we will continue to do that.
Mr.
Kerry, last question.
There's a lot to unpack in this statement right here that he's given. But he's trying to say that the reason they shouldn't obey a subpoena and turn over the audio tapes is because the DOJ is a fundamental institution of our democracy. That's the line that he uses. And not only that, if you listen to him, he begins to talk about the relentless attacks on our justice system, our Department of Justice, and how they're going to defund us and all this. Are you telling me that he is actually a stand-up here crying victim?
Oh, of course he's crying victim.
Yeah.
But let's remind you folks, let's remind all of our wonderful, smart audience, which you probably know already, but this is for the people that are just tuning in that don't know the short list of Garland's apolitical accomplishments in office.
Yeah.
This is from Julie Kelly. She made us a list. She never disappoints. Here we go. 1, investigated, raided, arrested, and charged 1,430 Americans for protesting Joe Biden's election on January 6th. New arrests announced almost daily. Number 2, weaponized post-Enron documents shredding law to turn hundreds of J6ers into convicted felons and send them to prison for years. Number 3, dusted off rarely used seditious conspiracy statute, historically reserved for foreign terrorists plotting to kill Americans, to charge mostly nonviolent members of Proud Boys and Oath Keepers for January 6th. 4, sought and received pretrial detention for many nonviolent protesters, meaning DOJ asked the judge to keep defendant in jail awaiting trial. 5, seeks excessive prison sentences, including years of minor assaults on police and even nonviolent obstruction and conspiracy convictions, as well as terror enhancements at sentencing.
Man, the list is long. Not only those, she goes on to say, busted by D.C. Appellate Court recently for seeking an unlawful split sentence for misdemeanor convictions and for seeking an unlawful sentencing enhancement for the 1512C2 convictions, refuses to bring similar federal charges against left-wing protesters, including pro-Hamas demonstrators, for engaging in exact same and worse conduct as the J6ers. Not a single 1512C2 indictment against any pro-Hamas protester for obstructing official proceedings or conspiring to do so.
This next one right here just happened like yesterday. And it said arrested and charged pro-life activists, including women in their 70s, and sought years in prison for their convictions in D.C. court. And what I mean by it just happened yesterday, they were just sentenced yesterday.
Okay, and here's one, and this is going to be our last one for this list because the list is long, but this is the one to us that resonates the most. They indicted Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro on what?
Contempt of Congress.
Contempt of Congress charges. So any excuse that Merrick Garland comes up with, any cry of victimhood, whatever the shit he was doing, basically what he was trying to do was sit there and go, I'm the one that determines what we bring to you and what we don't. You don't get to ask. Let me tell you something. You didn't give Steve Bannon that. You didn't give Peter Navarro that. And you put Peter Navarro in prison and Bannon's fixing to have to go. What we all seek in this and what we have continually screamed about over and over again, and equal justice under the law. Merrick Garland, you belong in a jail cell next door to Peter Navarro.
Yes.
And I'll say it over and over
and
again.
hiding behind Biden and the DOJ name and your democracy, which really, folks, is an oligarchy.
Yeah, when they say democracy, they don't mean you, they mean them.
That's it. They mean them.
They mean them to subjugate you.
That's
and
exactly
I'm
right.
sick of this, and I'm sick of what I'm seeing out of this kind of shit right here. This has got to be taken care of. If I'm President Trump, on day one, I start executive orders to start defunding every one of these people, every one of them, and tell them this order says we're defunding you. That means you got to go. Bye. Adios.
I know we have no rights in America anymore. And I'm just talking to everybody.
Yeah, well,
we do have rights, don't get me wrong, but these people that are in charge and in power right now.
Yeah, you have rights until they deem that you don't.
That's exactly right.
And these people have got to be stopped. Who knows if the vote is even going to go through to go ahead and hold him in contempt of Congress? Who knows? I hope that it does. And I hope that when it does, the equal justice is laid out here. It better be.
Yes.
It better be. We're tired of it, people. We're tired of it, and you should be tired of it. Because, as we say over and over again, if they'll do it to President Trump, if they do it to anybody like that, they ain't going to bat an eye to come do it to you. Let's keep moving. I'm sorry I got on a rant.
No, that's all right. That's totally all right.
Are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit our website today and start exploring with your world with Eventbrite.
Click on the link below. Here we go. We're in Texas. I just have to say, Texas Governor Abbott, he gets 2 thumbs up from us. The first thumbs up that was in the headline, which reads, Texas pardons U.S. Army Sergeant Daniel Perry, who was convicted of murder for shooting an AK-47 wielding BLM protesters during 2020 riot. If you recall, Daniel Perry, he's a former U.S. Army sergeant. He was found guilty last year of murdering protester Garrett Foster in Austin in July of 2020. Perry was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Governor Abbott had requested the state parole board investigate his case to discuss a possible pardon just days later, which led to a unanimous approval vote that was announced on Thursday. And Governor Abbott immediately released a statement and cited
the Texas Stand Your Ground law, which allows people to use deadly force if they feel that they are in imminent danger. He said Texas has one of the strongest stand your ground laws of self-defense that cannot be nullified by a jury or a progressive district attorney. I thank the board for its thorough investigation, and I approve their pardon recommendation. And that's exactly correct.
That's it. Good going, Governor Abbott.
They tried to paint Daniel Perry as something that he was not. That man was standing there defending his life because the person outside his car that day had a gun pointed at him.
Yes, and all he did was defend himself.
By the stand your ground law, he had that right.
He did have that right. You know, and it ain't right that BLM is allowed to threaten you, and you can't fight back. I mean, you are allowed to fight back. That's why we have guns here in America, because we can fight back. Our founders made sure that we could fight back.
Yep.
You know, and the next one that we have, I just want to say hat tip to also the Texas, the TEA, Texas Education Agency, has taken over a school in Houston.
Houston Wheatley, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, after weeks of rumors and speculation across the Houston area, the highest official at the Texas Education Agency, or the TEA, confirmed that the state will be taking over the HISD for some time. TEA Commissioner Mike Morath said, ultimately, the intervention is necessary. Leaders at HISD received a letter on Wednesday morning notifying them that the TEA will temporarily take over the state's largest school district. The decision came following reported failures on the district level and multiple schools that have faced unsatisfactory grades for several years. Yeah, and Morath says he doesn't take the decision lightly. In a sit-down interview that he had with ABC 13, this is what he said. He said, this was extraordinarily difficult. We live in a democracy, and one of the elements of that democracy is locally elected school boards. What the law requires is if that threshold is ever met, that the Commissioner of Education is required. It's not discretionary. He is required to either order a closure of that school or order a board of managers for the whole district. Morath said that this was a necessary step. He said shutting down Wheatley High School was not the position that they wanted to take as a state. He said, we issued that order in 2019, but had been stayed by the courts, essentially put on pause for 3 full years while we were basically sued during the process. All the court proceedings stopped essentially 3 weeks ago, and so we're still required under the same law to act. We still have the same 2 choices available to me to make that decision, and it's not in the best interest of kids at Wheatley to close Wheatley. So that leaves us with the Board of Managers. This move now comes after years of what the state considers dysfunction and a failure to properly educate all children. In 2019, HISD had 21 schools that received an F grade.
Yeah, if you remember at the beginning, at the early shows, we actually talked about the grading system for the Texas Education Agency. And back then, which is a year ago, this was going on. I remember this going through the courts. And these schools all had F grades. And if none of the schools were above a D.
Right. And if they can't meet a satisfactory level for a certain amount of time, then exactly what's going to happen. They're either going to shut the school down or they're going to turn it over to a board of managers that's run by the TEA, and they'll take over that school. And this is not an uncommon thing. You know, the article tries to make it sound like it's something new or whatever. This has been going on for a while. Matter of fact, there's been some schools in the Dallas districts up there in that area that have that are under
the state's running
control.
Them.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, because when they get out of control like that, and the kids aren't being the number one focus, then you know it's time to do something about it.
Yeah.
And with this DEI coming into schools, the schools are under a radar right now. They're being watched with a magnifying glass, and if you're failing and your students are failing in this new educational program that y'all are forcing on our children isn't working, then something needs to change.
Well, and that's the thing. It's the fact that that's what they're focusing to teach on, and the results are proven right here. Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.